They're going to blow their TVs up, mate, from that noise. Take the good nuts off, mate.
The good nuts.
Anthony, what have I got here, mate?
These are the brake pads for the 120 Prado at the rear. Yeah, genuine parts. They just last longer and they're not expensive, so whatever the case may be, that's what they were for years, so that's what they're going to be. We're going to need 2 pads each side. You can see the thickness of the pads and whatever. There's going to be a bit of info, but I'm going to get through this one pretty quickly. So if anyone's going to do their brakes, don't just do it because you saw this video.
What I know of you, mate. Are you sure you're going to get through this quickly?
Yeah, I am. Except for you and the camera, that's all. It's going to try and slow me down, but I'm going to push through.
Okay.
But I just want to, you know, safety warning for anyone. Don't just watch this video and then go and do your brakes. If you're going to do it anyway, watch all the videos you can. And there is a brakes playlist on 4x4 Diesel that'll give you a whole lot more info. But once again, it still doesn't mean you know everything and you're going to be safe. So until you do, don't do brakes. Now, that's the new pads. For the DIYs that don't have a lot of special tools or on the side of the road and their pads are gone metal to metal, that's who we're going to help at the moment. So flat blade screwdriver around about that size. So what you can do, you can just put the screwdriver straight through that hole there and it comes over the front of this pad. That way you're not levering against any of the disc pad surface. See how easy that is with something that's in good condition to push that piston in. And then I'm just going to push carefully on the back of the pad there, get in between the pad and the rotor there. Right, and I'm just going to gently, this will put some marks on the pads, but we're assuming that your pads are gone, right? So here, if you're getting close, have you got a light on that thing? Not really?
No, I can see it. We can see it. Yeah.
I'll get the pads out anyway, but you wouldn't normally replace your pads at this thickness, but because, remember what I said, I've been with people on Cape trips that put new pads in Melbourne and they're metal to metal. I don't know what they've done wrong, to be honest, but they can wear out quickly. I want a new set of pads for the CSR trip.
This is the other side, right?
Yeah, this is the other side. So it just really, well, if that doesn't work like that, then something's wrong with your brakes and you're going to need to find someone that knows what they're doing. And then you should be able to just push that caliper back, that pad a little bit, get in between the rotor. It's just, I'm not putting a lot of pressure, just gently. We're just pushing that piston in the rest of the way for what it didn't go in. It'll leave a little mark on the pad. It's not going to matter because they're not going to get used again anyway. And even if they were, that little mark, it ain't going to matter. So all the experts that said, oh, you can't do that.
So question.
Yep.
So
back to the other side.
The first question on that one is, so you're not worried about marking the rotor? I'm
not levering on the rotor. So the screwdriver's levering on the outside edge of the rotor. I'll come and demonstrate. I'll just push the driver's side again. I'm going to push this side because sometimes when you push the opposite side, it'll push the piston out again. Watch what I'm doing, right? Screwdriver's going in here.
Yep.
The sharp tip of the screwdriver is against the pad and the outside rounded edge is on the outside of the disc rotor, on the outside edge like that. It's not hard enough to put a mark in it, but on the outside edge, the pads are not touching there anyway.
Okay.
It's not leaving a mark anyway, so it's all good. So we've...
question number 2.
Yep.
Do you take the cap off the...
no, you don't. We're not doing anything with the brake fluid at all.
No.
This is what we're doing.
Worried. But the brake fluid will go up a bit when you push the pad out.
It will go up a bit because we've pushed. It's gone up already. It'll be full again.
Yep. So you don't take the cap off.
So 17 mil.
Yep.
Right. Get those undone. They need to be nice and tight so they don't come undone, but loose enough that you can get them undone. So
you should.
Right, so these pads and rotors are from lsiauto.com.au. So we can just lift that off. We're just going to sit this anywhere, right? Just like that, it'll be fine. It's not going anywhere. Not worried about that. Here's the pads. I'll just grab that flat blade again. I said, what's your discount code? And he said, it's 4x4 Diesel, same as my YouTube channel, you know, FOURBY, number 4. So even I can't change. Look, it's stuck there, mate. I don't know what I'm doing, right? It's not really, but it's just a matter of, you know. Whenever a video happens, mate, whenever a video happens, that's when things go outside the plan. These pads like fall out, you know what I mean? They literally fall out, just like they fall in like that. A couple extra backing plates, whatever. Who did this job, mate? Unbelievable.
Oh, mate.
No, look, you just need to use your tools sometimes a little bit, right? So the pads, we'll put them on the bench to compare, and you should have gloves on. I always have gloves on, except for this time, right? There's the pads. I'm going to meet you at the bench. Height comparison, not much in it really. If we compare it the other way, you can, you know, sort of, you can see the depth of the pad comparison. These are about what, 30 to 40% worn, but you never get your pads worn all the way to the plate. And once they get closer, they wear quicker because heat, when they're hotter, they wear quicker. And once there's less material, it gets hot quicker. So the last half's going to go a lot quicker, and you don't want to hit the metal. I would normally give these about another 20,000 at least, depending on whose driving style. But like I said, I'm going to call them half-on for the sake of what you're going to get out of use out of them. They're at least halfway there. So for the big trip, I want a new set. These will wear out normally about the same as the front on a new Prado. So if a 150 comes in, I could confidently say rear pads around the 1 to 150 mark, and probably the front as well, but there'll be a little bit more left of the fronts. So the rears might go a little bit quicker, but you could replace them both at say 100,000, something like that. Average car is going to be about 100,000, maybe 120. This is the part number. When I brought the last set, there must have been a reason I brought two. So that's the part number for rear of a 120. I don't know if the 150.
Only 120?
Well, I don't know if the 150s is the same. Oh, right, that is what's in there, right? So it's just two each side, okay. Simply get your new backing plates, clip them on like that. Clean bench here, by the way. Right. Copperese, really high temperature stuff. Let me find your number. 1,000 degrees, right? So anyway, it's a bit wet on top at the moment. See, it's really gooey sort of stuff, right? So we don't need a lot. I just want to paint the back of that backing plate a little bit, right? Just want to kind of go and give it a bit of a paint job like that. Right, now the piston also makes contact, what, about the middle here? So I just like to, might work or it might paint a little circle like that, right? So then where the piston's touching here, and it's not going to melt and don't put it on this side. You know, you don't want that. It can only be this side. And I never used to do this, but I've got to tell you, even the Prado genuine brakes, sometimes when they're cold, they can get really annoying. Same as the wear indicator, it only goes on the inner pad at one side. You know, you could put 4 of them technically, you could get crazy. So the one that we did the middle, that's for the piston. So if you haven't already, go clean your hands, because we don't really want to get grease and dirty things
in the wrong places.
In the wrong place, exactly. Right, so that should just go in like that. I'm just going to grab a rag and give the hands a wipe in case I did touch a bit of grease there and I don't really want it. Now this is obviously the one from the outer. You can see where it goes. You just got to try not to get grease everywhere and in the wrong places. You can see there's a bit of a bit there, but that'll be all right. To be honest, it's not going to make a lot of difference. But brakes do actually really need to be clean, is the best thing I can tell you. They just sit in position like that. You want to sort of make sure they're in all the way, and the piston was already pushed in, remember? And your slides, if they're not clean and lubricated, you might want to put some more grease on those, but you saw mine worked all right, so I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. It's only done nearly 500,000 K. See, the piston's all the way pushed down. The boot's not damaged, there's no fluid leaking out, anything like that. It's just a dirty old car. And then this literally just sits, carefully sit that over there like that, and just tuck that boot so that it doesn't get too squashed, if you know what I mean.
Can you give any tips for these little piston things here? Do you put grease in them?
Yeah, well, you can just put a bit of whatever grease, mate. The right grease is better, but I try not to, look, so you don't mix grease. Sometimes when you pull them out, you find this grease on the end here. There'll be a bit of extra grease if you've never done it before. You can just put that on. It doesn't need much, you know what I mean? And then, because if you put too much, then it just pops this seal out. They get a bit of a suction thing going on in here.
Yep.
So this quite simply just goes in like that. You can see the thread screws into that part. Right. When everything works, it does anyway. You've got to push it a bit harder sometimes. I'm not going to do anything with these. Yep. Right. I'm just putting them in and that's it. It was meant to be a quick, simple brake pad swap. Right, get that started. The copper grease there, all the places that I don't need it. See around here, look at here, see all this copper, see the grease? Right, all that, I don't need grease there, do you know what I mean? So you can just, if you don't like it, you can just wipe off the excess. But it's not going to matter either, right, if it stays there or not. Don't forget to do these up, because if you do,
you'll be in trouble.
You will be in trouble, and while you're at it, if you just want to be extra safe, you can have a look at the 2 bolts that hold this plate, which are just a bit further behind there. That's not it, that's just my first little tap. You can have a look at those and make sure they're tight as well. I can't remember the torque specs. I think on those are a bit high, it might be like 120 newton meters, but for me that's tight. And that's tight, it's not going, it's a 1/2 inch drive, it's massive, brake's done. Now, if you don't forget that you push the piston back, there's space between the piston and the caliper and everything like that. If you do forget, that you've pushed it back. You'll get in your vehicle and you'll go to drive off. And you go to put your foot on the brake and it'll just go all the way to the floor and it won't stop because all it's done is push one stroke of the pedal. So what you need to do once you get in the vehicle, don't push it to the floor. Lots of short strokes, normal travel only, because it's an old master cylinder. If you push into the floor, it'll go past where it normally goes and it could pick up some old bit of junk, and we do lots of brake fluid flushes on this.
Yep.
Best way to break bleed is gravity or pump only to the normal travel. Don't go past it. Don't push it to the floor. But that's just a new set of brake pads, right? Done. That's a quick pad change. Anyone can push it back with a screwdriver, 2 bolts, off she comes and in they go. Put them the right way, don't put them back to front. But could you believe people put pads in back to front?
Well, they should only go one way, shouldn't they?
You can fit them in both ways, because I've seen cars come, and other brake specialist workshops, I've seen them come in.
Oh, no.
Just so you know, we're on this side now, but I've seen them come into other people's workshops as well, and we couldn't believe it until we saw it. So because you can't see what I'm doing, I'm just going to tell you and everybody, if you're going to use any of this, I'm just taking the 2 bolts out, same as the other side.
You're getting a good view.
We already pushed the piston back before, you'll remember that. Just put your slides in a nice clean area, don't put them where they're going to roll around in dirt. I suppose that's one of the main things. Caliper can just come off. I just sit it over the top of the diff there, something like that, you know what I mean? And the rotor just sits there loose. It's called a hat type rotor. The only thing holding it on is the wheel, and of course this bracket is in the way. Are you filming from that side?
Yep.
So these are your other 2 bolts that you might want to check if you know, that one there and that one there, if you were working on it. If you want to take your rotors off, once you've done this, you take that and that belt off, this bracket comes off, and then your rotor will just lift straight off. There's also these little clips in here, they need to be there. If they're missing, off to Mr. Toyota you go to get some of those. So that's how they normally come off. It's just because you were in my way before, that's all.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
Generally it'll go on the inner pad at the bottom, so it's pushing. You can go on the outer as well, whatever. It doesn't really matter, outer pad, inner pad, top, bottom. There's a specified, the specified one. Just be careful of those boots, make sure you don't lose them. And like I said, if you do happen to put grease on your caliper slide bolts, if you put too much, you'll pop that, see that rubber cap on the outside of the caliper there? Opposite end to where the bolt goes in, you can see it at that side of the vehicle. You'll pop those out because of the hot, pressure from the grease. So look, to be honest, how tight they are and the bit of corrosion and resistance on the threads, I couldn't imagine these coming loose even if they weren't tight. Yep. And even just kind of going, like that, giving a hit, probably won't come off. But for me, I just need to go and give it a bit more and just go, yep, that's it. They're not going anywhere. Just got to make sure they're all in.
Yeah, beautiful.
Then we'll drop it on the ground. We'll do click the wheel nuts and check the tyre pressure. Come with me. Come with me, bada bing, bada boom.
Oh, she's getting pushed, eh? Handbrake's not on.
Come around here. Have a look at the brake fluid level. It's a little bit over full.
So do you worry about that, or?
Come with me around here, please. Stick your camera in here.
Hold on. Find those shoes, mate.
Lots of short pumps.
So little short ones.
To bring those rear pistons out. And I can feel it's there now. Now that I know it's there, then I'll push it a bit harder. Feel free to go and have a look at that brake fluid level again.
All right, let's go and have a look, everyone. See what's going on with that.
Just a fraction above the line, and that's okay. All right, it's all done. Tyres are on, brakes are done. So we're bada bing out of here.
We are, we've all done. We're finished, we're all done.
Well, thanks for making the video for yourself.
No, that's all right, mate, anytime.
Take 3.
See you at dinner tonight, eh?
That's it. You'll see me at, let's go get something for a snack right now, because I'm hungry.
Oh, yeah?
So
all
let's
right,
get your Prado 150 out of here.
Mine's already out of here.
Or take my 120 out of here for a road test.